In this creepy video, a man gets off his bike and looks around to check out the neighborhood. When he sees no one is around, he makes his move. He starts by backing up, then runs towards the house door, kicking it like he's trying to break in. This didn't work out for him, so he decided to reverse and try harder a couple of times again, when he realized that this wasn't a possible means to make his way into the house. He was using a hacksaw, and this stalker had also discovered that his activities were being recorded by a camera. He became more aggressive upon realizing this, lifting his hands to the camera and trying to block it from capturing him. Furthermore, he applies more pressure with his hacksaw, again breaking into the house. This footage captured on a Ring doorbell camera shows a man in what appears to be a white hoodie standing outside a woman's apartment. This strange stalker stood there every night for over a month. He would stand so still, almost like a statue, just staring at the woman's door. In this clip, the man eventually takes a few steps back, but continues to stare at the woman's apartment before walking away. But he didn't give up just yet, coming back later and lurking closer to the woman's door. After weeks of living in fear, the lady eventually seeks help from friends, who confront the man and ask him to leave. This alarming video caught on a Ring camera is quite disturbing. It shows a stalker who has consistently been showing up at the door of a woman for nearly a month at the same location.
Woman's apartment, possibly waiting for her to come outside. At one point in the video, the man can be heard talking, but his words are difficult to make out.
From this frightening clip, it could be seen that the stalker repeatedly stares at the same place every time he shows up in a similar outfit. It seems like he is always with something white in his always. Then he checks out the woman's apartment, stays for a few minutes to observe, and then turns around to leave.
2 days later, the woman posted an update on Twitter, in which she mentioned that her friends and family had confronted the man, and that security had been on the lookout for him. Many people who viewed the video urged the uploader not to let her guard down, and reminded her that the likelihood that the man would show up again was very high. But after the last tweet in December 2021, there haven't been any more updates, and the man's identity hasn't been publicly revealed.
This next clip is from CCTV footage showing a mother walking upstairs to her apartment with her child, and showing the elderly man who had been stalking her standing outside the gate of her house.
A mother is seen with her child about to walk into their home. Unbeknownst to her is a random stalker right behind her.
The man then proceeds to open the door and follow the woman and her child upstairs. The woman tries to unlock her door, but then notices the man coming up, so she calls out to her neighbor for help, which scares the man off, causing him to turn back and leave.
The stairs. The woman desperately looks to find her keys rightfully, but she is nervous and afraid.
The neighbor is seen confronting the strange old man as he passes by. Good thing she had a neighbor like that to save her. In this terrifying video, a man was captured hovering around the house at night in what could be considered an aimless manner. He tries to avoid being captured by the camera in front of the house by using his hands to cover his face. Moments later, the camera suddenly disappears as he is seen to have stolen it. His mission that night remains unclear, as this stalker was only accused of stealing a camera. Could it be that this was just a first step for him to carry out other nefarious activities? This next CCTV footage is the scariest yet, as the man literally runs after this woman. Footage shows the woman, who had just arrived home from a long day at work, and the stalker, seen walking slowly behind her, following her all the way through the hallway. She revealed she had seen him lurking outside her building, but apparently had no idea he was following her.
The drama unfolded at 2 in the morning when the woman arrived home from a long day at work. She says she noticed the stranger lurking outside her building in the Bronx, New York. You can see him go up the stairs. She's apparently unaware that he's right behind her.
The lady gets to her apartment door and begins to unlock it, unaware that her stalker was just around the corner behind her. As soon as she opens the door and starts to get in, the stalker runs after her, trying to follow her in. Hearing the footsteps, she instinctively closes the door immediately, just in the nick of time.
Hopefully you will never find yourself in a crisis like this.
The stalker then calls out to her to open the door and let him in, but the woman calls for help, saving herself from a potential robbery.
Nick of time.
Open up the door. Excuse me. Excuse me.
In this alarming video, he was seen hiding behind a blue truck while trying to avoid his stalker. A car had been closely following a child for some time, and when this smart child noticed, he took cover behind a blue truck, trying to hide himself from the stalking vehicle.
Like mother's crazy sister Kate.
Oh,
you don't think so, huh?
No.
Well, she put her poodle one time in a microwave oven to eat it. Yeah, to eat it? Oh no. No.
As soon as the stalker couldn't tell where he was, he reversed, leaving the scene. The child fled for his dear life after he had left, running hastily, knowing that his life was in danger.
No, silly, to dry it. But it exploded. And they were both found dead. She must have been out of her head.
This next-door cam footage shows the creepiest stalker on the list yet. Footage shows a man with gloves, a hat, and a mask lurking outside homes and occasionally breaking into them while families were asleep. The strangest part is that he doesn't steal anything or damage any property. He just lurks around the house while the residents sleep.
Time ritual, using a thin piece of wire to break into homes in Melbourne's West, Geelong and the Surf Coast.
The strange man had been captured on camera several times, loitering around people's homes at night for no real reason. A true serial stalker.
The mystery man is believed to be in his 30s, seemingly undeterred by security cameras.
In this video, a suspicious motion was captured by the doorbell camera. A man was seen with his hands on his face outside the house, wandering. He looked as though he was anticipating a response from the house owner. He takes a few steps back towards the stairs to check if anyone is approaching before returning to wait at the door. This creepy move by this stalker, who had haunted the victim's house, was recorded multiple times as this was a regular visit, which makes the entire situation even scarier. This next Ring camera clip shows a more creepy stalker at 2 a.m. lurking outside a woman's door and speaking into the camera in a creepy voice, saying hello to the lady and asking if she sees him.
You see me? Can you see me? Hey, missus.
The man then steps back and eventually walks away from her door. A woman was recording a TikTok video of dancing and having fun, and then suddenly she noticed something unusual that caught her attention. A man came into her apartment while she was unconscious of her environment. In shock, she began to stagger as she walked frightened towards the white curtain where he hid. She couldn't muster the courage to confront or check who it was, so she rushed towards her phone, grabbed it, and then ran out of the room. As she exits her apartment, she walks into another room to seek help.
Please get out of my apartment right now! Get out! Get out! Hello?
This door cam footage shows a woman who leads a stalker to the wrong house when he says he wants to follow her home. She then tries to send him away, saying she'll see him the next day.
Okay. No. I want you to go inside, okay? I want you to go. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
But the stalker insists on opening her door when she refuses, saying she wants to see him go.
Appreciate you, okay? No, I want you to go, okay? I want you to go. And because I really, honestly, it's not you.
After sending him off, she comes back to the porch relieved and apologizes to the owner of the home by speaking to the camera and explaining her situation. But then the man comes back to check if she had gone in, suspecting she had led him to the wrong house. She further tries to send him away by telling him goodbye. This petrifying video got an entire family shivering. It shows a young man who happens to be an ex-boyfriend of the victim at the door of the victim's apartment. James suddenly comes back into her life after 11 years, sending a voice recording, hoping they could meet up.
James Rail, Allie's old high school boyfriend.
We saw that was James standing there.
The victim ignored his text, and he showed up at her door. After trying to gain access to the victim's house by hitting the doorbell, he eventually left after receiving no response from the victim's family. A few moments later, he returns, trying to force his way into the house at all costs.
About her daughter Allie, and she's talking about this car and this driver. Soon enough, Mom, daughter, and Dad Mitch all learn the identity of this young man.
It becomes such a heated and awkward situation as the victim begins to shout affrightedly, calling the attention of her parents and the neighborhood. The entire family warns him to retire and leave them alone, but he breaks the door. After several attempts to make him go away, the victim's father reaches for his gun, threatens to shoot, and afterward fires several shots.
Grabs his gun from the bedside stand.
Get off my board!
The victim tried to call the police earlier, pleading with them to show up hastily. Unfortunately, this creepy situation had already gotten intense as the stalker was shot and tried, leading to his death. The entire family was filled with fear and couldn't fathom what had happened in a bid to save their daughter. The victim kept shouting in shock. She had entirely lost her composure before the police arrived, and it was hard for her to report the entire situation.
I got 3 casings.
Inside the home, the surviving family tries to recover.
Are you okay, ma'am? You want to just help her? I don't want her to fall.
In this door cam footage, a woman is seen coming home with her soon, but little does she know that a stalker has followed her to her home. As soon as they get in, the stalker appears.
Los Angeles, California. A woman comes home with her son. Little does she know, there's a creeper following right behind her.
The strange man immediately tries to open the door and get into the house. The woman hears the sound of someone at the door and asks who it is, but the man does not answer. She looks through the peephole and sees the man, immediately asking him to go away and threatening to call the police. But the man just keeps standing outside.
Daniel? Who's that?
This creepy video shows two sisters who went out shopping at a store. While checking out various items at the store, they noticed a man in blue following them around while they looked at the available items.
Have you guys seen the ones that have heated seats?
Wait, I actually might want that kind. The heated seat ones, because I hate having...
Did you see that guy that was wearing a blue fit?
Was he wearing blue?
That guy was wearing a whole blue outfit behind you. No, he's gone now.
To confirm he was following them, they tried to move around the store. They had captured the man severally moving in their direction, which affirms that he was stalking them. Considering how dangerous this was, they left the store quickly.
Come on, let's get out of these aisles. Let's walk that way, because that is cut off.
You saw that, right?
Yeah,
I almost
I
ran
saw
into
it.
him too.
Come on, let's go. Come on, Sam.
While one of the ladies tried to put the item she had purchased in the car boot, she was being touched by the stalker. He tried to grab her like he would take her away horridly. This was impossible, so he had to flee.
Yo, come on, Sammy, let's go.
Get in the car.
Yo, I just saw him try to grab her, bro.
You okay?
Come on, let's move.
Let's go.
This female content creator was streaming on her phone when this man walked up to her and asked how much he would have to pay to have her come to a hotel room with him.
Huh?
She is disgusted and refuses to meet the man, walking away from him.
Huh? How much I go?
In this video, guy, supposedly her husband, tells her to calmly look around at a guy sitting a long way behind them. It seems it wasn't the first time, from how he talked. This man approaches a woman in the women's underwear section, asking inappropriate questions about underwear he says he wants to buy for his wife, and that's when the woman realizes it was the same man who had been stalking her 2 years ago and immediately starts recording.
A man approaches her in the swimsuit section and starts asking questions about a gift he's buying for his wife.
He goes, "Hi, I just bought this maxi dress for my wife."
When she confronts the man about him stalking her before, he quickly takes off, but she runs after him, calling other people in the store for help. But the man eventually gets away.
Suggestive and inappropriate. That's when Candace realizes this is the very same man who approached her 2 years before.
This video shows two people, a guy and a lady, coming towards a house. The guy escorts the lady back home and wants to help her open the door, but she politely refuses. She tells him thank you and sends him off, but he isn't willing to leave.
You're really good. And then, I will see you in like literally tomorrow night. Are you guys saying tomorrow night? Yeah. Okay, so go.
She feels uncomfortable around this guy, who is not interested in their conversation, but in seeing the insides of her house. She kisses him goodbye, but he still tries to peep in. Finally, she sends him off and then begins apologizing for coming to someone else's place and feigning it's hers because she doesn't want him to know where she lives.
Thank you. I appreciate you, okay? No, I want you to go, okay? I want you to go. And because I really, honestly.
While apologizing, she hears a noise and stops to listen. She checks to be sure of what it is, and it's the stalker. He's still there, standing and watching from a distance, waiting for her to open her door.
Okay, I'm sorry that I'm here. There's this guy. We don't want you to know where. Okay, hold on.
This woman started recording on her phone when she realized she was being followed by a strange man in a black hoodie a few feet behind her. She says the man looked into the camera many times and didn't care at all that he was being filmed. She was followed around the neighborhood for several blocks.
What was supposed to have been a quick trip to the store turned into the nightmare Jamie Coots could not break free from.
She eventually made her way to the skate park, where she asked the people there for help. The stalker is forced to walk away and leave the lady alone when questioned by people at the park.
Hey, do you mind if I sit with you guys? This guy's literally been following me in circles for like 40 minutes and I've been recording it. Yeah.
Eventually, she made her way to the skate park.
In this video, a man dressed rather casually is seen with his mobile phone and a book. He goes to a quiet neighborhood with his phone in hand and a book covering a larger part of his phone so he can take illegal pictures. Unknown to this stalker that a camera was around, he stands and takes pictures or videos of a place, and after he has satisfied his thirst, he looks for a split second before leaving. These girls were playing at the park one night, but after they got home and reviewed the video they were recording, they found a creepy set of eyes had been watching them the whole time. One thing is for sure, those girls are never going to a park at night again. This video shows a woman walking through a gate to her door. She carries her child, a little boy, in her arms as she climbs the stairs to her door. She's on a phone call. A rather short man, dressed in black, is seen at the gate. He's been following her for quite some time.
A mother is seen with her child about to walk into their home.
He opens the gate and appears to be climbing the same stairs this woman climbed. She's at her door and has noticed him. She hurries to find her keys to get in quickly. She's scared because this stalker looks quite frightening.
The man has the audacity to even open the gate and walk up the stairs.
He has almost gotten to her. She's really scared, as it shows all over her. A guy who has been watching from the next compound stands up from where he's squatting. As soon as the stalker sees him, he turns back immediately and leaves. This CCTV footage shows a stalker who had trapped his victim in her driveway and was chasing her around the car. He had a tool in his hand with which he hit the car to scare the lady. But when he notices a police car coming over, he walks away. This particular video is rather disturbing, as the stalker is an obsessed pervert. It seems he stalks because of her body and nothing else. He is dressed in a green tracksuit and a kind of red and lemon green mask that covers his face and lets out nothing. He runs to the doorbell of the victim, and for a short time shows a paper that says, "Nice ass," and almost immediately he runs off. This CCTV footage shows a Los Angeles store clerk being dragged out of her store by her alleged stalker. The man can be seen pulling her by the arms out of the shop as she tries to resist. A customer notices this but makes no effort to interfere.
You see the man pulling the woman by her arms, and she is trying to resist. Police say he was armed with a...
He then forces her into his car and drives her to a cemetery, where the woman is, fortunately, able to escape. The woman later said he had been harassing her for some time to be in a relationship with him and trying to find out where she lived.
Say he had been stalking the victim for some time, trying to figure out where she lived and harassing her to be in a relationship with him.
In this terrifying video, we delve into the unsettling experience of an influencer who finds herself haunted by a persistent stalker. As an influencer, she initially receives mysterious mail from an unknown person, particularly a guy who sends her pictures of her house and continuously asks if she misses him. Feeling unsafe, she decides to move to a new place with her family, hoping for a fresh start.
You guys don't know the full story. A random person from Indonesia was sending pictures to my email of my fucking house.
Time passes, and she secures a job taking pictures for a company, a role she's not particularly fond of. Her job requires frequent changes of clothes and locations for the perfect shot.
It wasn't serious, and I knew that, ultimately my mom, if she felt that it was something serious, she would take action immediately. We already had done what we needed to do. We alerted.
One day, while working in an alley, a man in a car stops her, asking for directions to a sandwich shop. After she helps him, he compliments her and politely asks for her number. Reluctantly, she gives him a fake number, but he immediately tries to call it. Realizing it's fake, he asks again, and she hesitantly gives him her real number.
My brain just built different.
As the man drives away, she realizes she never told him her name, yet he called her by it. A chilling thought crosses her mind. She had seen his car multiple times in different alleys throughout the day. Later, at home, she receives a call from an unknown number, which she blocks. But the calls don't stop. Over 30 spam calls with no caller ID flood her phone. Terrified, she confides in her mother, who, along with the rest of the family, takes precautionary measures to ensure her safety.
I see this car pass by. In the moment, I didn't.
This next footage shows an elderly woman lurking around a shop, stalking a little girl. As soon as the shop clerk goes away, the woman walks up to the little girl, caresses her hair, and starts talking to her. She walks away when the clerk comes back. When the little girl is ready to leave, the woman is seen waiting for her with a car door open. Luckily, the store clerk notices the strange activity of the women and decides to escort the little girl home. The stalker, realizing her plan to abduct the child had failed, got back into her car and left. In this video, a young man named Melvin is sponsored to go to Disneyland, Florida, to scatter the ashes of his dead turtle during the fireworks. His friend Daniel believes the sponsor is a stalker intending to take advantage of Melvin. Despite Daniel's warnings, Melvin decides to go, and Daniel follows to protect him.
Hi, my friend's on that plane. I just wanted to see if I can go on there real quick and just tell him to get off.
In Florida, Melvin stays in a free house provided by the sponsor. Daniel, suspicious, spots a man dressed in black lurking around the house. When he alerts Melvin, the figure is gone. Daniel calls other friends to join them, and only Daniela agrees.
Whoa. What? Dude, something outside!
What?
What the heck?
At 3:16 a.m., on the day they are to visit Disneyland, Daniel hears bangs and checks around. Melvin and Daniela also hear the noise but see nothing. Daniel, unconvinced, sends out a drone, capturing footage of a man in black in the yard. He advises Daniela to sleep in Melvin's room.
Who is that? Who is that?
He's running away. I caught you, dude.
At Disneyland, Daniel stays vigilant while his friends enjoy themselves. He eventually spots the stalker but loses him in the crowd and bad weather. After 4 hours, Daniel reunites with his friends, and they leave safely.
Why would somebody be wearing this other than to blend in? Because this guy is stalking us. Well, guess what, Brother Bear?
This door cam footage shows a girl being abducted by her stalker as she gets home and tries to unlock her door. The stalker, who was wearing a hoodie and a mask, jumped out from the corner and grabbed the girl, dragging her away with him.
Dragging her away. The woman chasing after.
Luckily, her mother had heard the scream and came out chasing after them. They were able to fight him off before he could take her away.
As a mother, her motherly instinct to save her daughter kicked in, and she wasn't even thinking about her own safety.
The man was later identified as a former co-worker of hers by police. This video presents a disturbing scenario involving two girls in a house predominantly made of glass. One of the girls panics while at her friend's residence. During a shopping trip, she notices a truck following her, despite her attempts to evade it. She rushes back to her friend's house, where they search for the truck from inside but fail to locate it.
Gosh, Mallory, you're scaring me. Mallory, shh, be quiet. It could be here. When he was driving. Yeah. Okay, you can talk. Breathe. Do you need water or something? No, I don't want anything. I'm so scared. Oh my god. When he was driving behind me, he was like waving at me in my rear view. Like I could see he was waving. Like creepy waving?
They review the CCTV footage and spot the truck. Almost simultaneously, she receives a text from an unknown number with a picture of her and her friend taken from a corner of the house. They venture outside, see a figure, and quickly run back inside, automatically closing the glass doors.
We can look around. I don't see anything out here. Maybe should we be like whispering or something? Oh my god, what? Who is that? Who is that? Wait, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Go inside, go inside, go inside, go inside. Did you see that? Did you see someone? Someone was literally running. Someone was saying, shut the door, lock the door, lock it, lock it, lock it, lock it.
She receives a call from a number with no caller ID. Upon answering, she hears only noise and hangs up, increasingly frightened. The stalker then sends another picture from inside the house, indicating he has entered the premises.
Sent another text. What do you mean? Just sent another text. There's some windows in here. Kids. What? What? It's your attic. What do you mean? He's inside your attic. That's a picture of your attic. Wait, that's a picture upstairs in my attic? Yes!
Terrified, they set up a camera to monitor the stalker's movements and barricade themselves in her room, watching from her friend's phone. The stalker is seen crawling in, destroying the camera, and approaching the bedroom. The situation escalates from this point.
Wait, watch. You see anything? Can you see anything? What is that? There's like a little bright thing. What is that? Is that him? Is he poking? I don't know. Is it like a phone? Oh, it's the tube. Wait, what's happening? Oh god, he's coming. Wait, he's crawling. He's crawling. Who is that? Come on, what's he doing? He can see the camera. No.
Suspecting that she was being stalked, this woman set up her dash camera to record the outside of her house to confirm her suspicions. And she was right. The stalker walks towards her house, careful to stay out of sight. The stalker then walks up to the house and goes around it to find her. This video, when they return home, they find an envelope hanging on their doorknob. Inside, they discover a nostalgic photo of the wife as a child, along with a letter. The door cam of a woman reveals a man lurking around her house at night. Another piece of footage shows the man, who is wearing a hat, looking through her window, trying to spy on her. Like a nightmare, this young woman in this video has been stalked for 4 years by this known man. He comes to her door and says something. He knocks once and asks to talk, but she sends him away. 2 weeks later, there's a kind of shrine in front of her house, a Bible open to a place that talked about Jesus and Mary. This stalker believes he, in this case, is Jesus and her Mary, and they were meant to be.
Steph is living a never-ending nightmare. For 4 straight years, she has been stalked by this guy.
She also receives a letter from him stating that he loves her and that all he wants is her. This guy, a high school classmate of hers, comes back 4 years later to profess his love. She is scared and has put a restraining order on him. He goes to jail every time and comes out to go back in as she renews her restraining order every year in court.
Away from somebody who scares you, and every time that I have to get up on the stand and testify, I have to tell him that I'm still scared of him, which honestly makes me feel weak that I have to do that.
This gamer uploads a stream about a suspicious car that pulls up at his house every night. He is afraid for his safety and asks for anyone who can help him identify the car, as his neighborhood isn't the safest of neighborhoods.
So come on over, because I do not know whose car this is, and you keep pulling up here every night.
An accepted friend request from Facebook by a high school classmate leaves her in trauma. He, the classmate, wanted to catch up with him. She didn't take it seriously till it became rather disturbing. He became a cyberstalker.
One click of the mouse, Kristen Pratt opened the door to a nightmare.
We need to talk face to face, or I'm gonna be dead!
And set in motion a 2-year ordeal that placed her in constant fear for her life.
He sends her disturbing videos and messages that leave her in fear. She reports to the police, but on finding out that he's only disturbed her online, they dismiss the case.
I've been sent on a mission to make Kristen Pratt feel warm and fuzzy.
Kristen knew she needed help.
When I first called the police, they said, well, does he know where you work? And I said, no. And they said, does he know where you live? And I said, no. And they said, nothing we can do. And they left.
He doesn't stop there. He goes to her place of work to search for her and only wants to meet her. He behaves like a psychopath. One day he went to her house and a police officer on patrol saw him and stopped him to search him because he looked and acted suspicious.
Digging deeper, Conway found video of Mashoni prowling outside Kristen's workplace and immediately presented the case to the state's attorney.
And they said, oh my gosh, he's gonna kill her.
Anyone who stands in my way will be guilty of treason.
On searching, he traced him to the lady and filed a case with the state's attorney because to him, the police officer, he might kill her. The stalker is arrested and sentenced to 4 years in prison, while the victim is already suffering trauma. She moves places but still sees him in her dreams.
This is my life now, this is what you live with.
Kristen has now moved to another city, but she says this is a nightmare that follows her wherever she goes.
Does he still haunt you?
Yeah.
This guy is doing a live stream in Japan when a woman who is being stalked walks up to him, trying to ask for help and clinging to him for protection.
Yeah.
The streamer immediately understands and attempts to send the man away, telling him to have a good night. The man attempts to make conversation, but is eventually made to leave.
Good to see you. It's alright. Have a good night, man. Hi. See you. Where from? Australia. Australia. Wow. Yeah. Have a good night, man.
The woman then shows her appreciation to the man and explains to him how afraid she was, as she had been stalked for 2 days by the man.
My trips. Two days ago in Japan.
Yeah.
Come in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Are you in danger?
Yes, very dangerous.
In this video, the victim returns from the drugstore when she notices a guy walking closely behind her. She observed him following her and wasn't concerned about people around her.
26-year-old Jamie Coots is heading home after a quick trip to the drugstore.
I'm walking directly downtown, probably the nicest part of Vancouver. About halfway home, I could feel somebody walking really close behind me. When I was looking at my phone, I can kind of feel that they're just stopped there.
Jamie feels uneasy, so she looks behind her to try and get a better look at the person.
She calls his attention to the fact that he was too close to her and he didn't say anything. He keeps on following. The victim decides to take a recording of the situation to scare him away, but he doesn't budge and keeps on stalking. After walking for more than 40 minutes, she gets to a place that is slightly crowded with skaters.
I went right to the absolute center of the skate park, thinking that he wasn't going to follow me in, and he continued to follow.
Nothing is stopping this man, and Jamie is panicked.
She asks to sit down and complains about the stalker. More skaters come around, and after some time, the stalker leaves. The victim is traumatized and scared to go home alone, so she calls 119, reports about the incident, and posts her experience, which later assists the cops in the arrest of the stalker.
Actually not gone to a group of people, maybe we would not have seen her again.
The man lingers for a few minutes, but as more and more skaters turn to watch him, he finally leaves.
You can see him start to walk away, and then one of the girls who was skateboarding there tried to approach him, but he continued to walk away.
Now, all Jamie wants to do is get home, but she's paralyzed with fear.
This woman recorded a video of a homeless man in New York who she claimed had been following her everywhere for 3 years and often gave her a mean stare. She says he once told her that he hated her and didn't like people giving her money. In this video, a Korean girl is being followed around by a guy. She's lucky to see two strangers, a guy and a lady, who agrees to stay with her till he leaves. The stalker sits and keeps on staring at her. They, the strangers, suggested that his picture be taken in case something dangerous might befall her. Minutes later, the stalker gets up and leaves.
He's gonna keep following you?
Yeah.
Oh, well then stay with us.
Yeah, stay with us. Yeah, he's still staring at us. He's still staring at us.
Wait, why is he still looking at you?
I don't know. Okay,
Okay, but you should put the guy on camera so if anything happened to her, you have his That guy's
okay,
creepy.
he's going. He's leaving now. He's leaving now.
So wait,
This CCTV footage shows a woman and her boyfriend walking down a street, but following closely behind them was her ex, who had traveled over 140 miles, stalking his ex-girlfriend. He kept following them for several miles with the intention of hurting his former girlfriend with a knife he was carrying. Sadly, he eventually caught up with them and stabbed her several times in front of her new boyfriend. This middle-aged man is so out of it. In this video, a middle-aged man is at the door of a lady by 3 o'clock in the morning. He rings and says he's Steven, and she tells him he's at the wrong place.
Steven here.
You got the wrong house.
He says he's hooking up with someone named Fifi. She responds to him, saying he's still at the wrong place. He asks if she's not interested in having sex with him tonight. The lady responds to him by informing him her husband was around and fitted with a gun in his hand before this man leaves.
Looking for a Steven?
No, I am Steven. I'm looking for Fifi.
Yeah, you got the wrong house.
So you don't want to have sex tonight?
Sir, my husband's in the living room with the gun.
Huh. Okay.
Have a good
Understood.
night.
Outside the home of actress Danielle Yancey, CCTV cameras capture a completely naked man wearing only a sock on his genitals. He is seen lurking around outside the home, wearing a Ronald Reagan Halloween mask to conceal his identity. The intruder was making his way around the house when he spotted Yancey's husband through the window, causing him to flee. Danielle Yancey later saw the footage and notified the authorities. Similarly, a woman comes home with her son. She's telling him to quickly take a shower. As she closes the door, a guy comes from behind. He tries to open the door, thinking she hasn't locked it.
Los Angeles, California. A woman comes home with her son. Little does she know, there's a creeper following right behind her.
Go shower really fast. I need you to go shower. Please, Daniel. Who's that?
The lady hears the noise and asks, "Who's at the door?" before going to the doorbell. She doesn't know him, and she tells him to leave immediately. He goes back a little, stands, and keeps on staring.
Who is that? Get out of here.
Yeah, Get lost.
Get out of here! There's a guy outside. Look.
Always watch your surroundings when coming home.
This stalker, caught on a Ring camera, would come and knock on his neighbor's door with different tools. The harassment continued, this time bringing with him a rod. The reason the man constantly harassed his neighbor and attacked his property was not known to anyone. The victim acquired a restraining order against the man, but even that didn't stop him from coming back. In this video, a terrified man shares his stalking experience, saying he was at the bar when another man walks up to him and tells him that he'd be grateful if he didn't dispose of dirt in his trunk.
I'm at the bar at a truck stop, inside the truck stop, and this autistic freak comes up next to me and says, "Hey, I'd appreciate it if you didn't leave."
He's surprised and asks him if he has been following him, and he denies it. He says he just happened to pack next to him, but it was obvious that he was stalking, seeing he had no driving license.
Dude, this freak is a Genova and he has a truck driving license. It's not even right.
This man suspected he had a stalker who would come up to his house every night. So to confirm his suspicion, he decided to put a camera at his window to record any activity throughout the night.
Peeking through my windows. So I'm gonna go set it up real quick. Got our camera nice and set up in a nice, like probably one of the best spots you can be in. It's got a clear shot of the deck and stuff.
He wakes up the next day and goes to collect his camera and view the footage to see if he was right about being stalked. And he was.
What the heck? Oh my god! He's looking. Oh no, he's looking in the freaking window.
This video. This lady caught this on her doorbell Ring cam after a night of shopping at Walmart. The man, who was wearing a hoodie and a face mask, had followed her all the way from the Walmart store.
After a lovely night of shopping at Walmart, user Ghostphase caught this on their doorbell Ring camera. This guy followed me all the way home from the store.
She notices a car following her as she goes. She calls her husband and he tells her to come. This lady in Dallas had been approached by a neighbor who lived in the same apartment building. He was later caught on her door Ring cam, giving her compliments and trying to ask her out.
Hello. I ain't gonna lie, like, you beautiful.
The woman feels harassed and tries to tell him it's too early for him to be bothering her, to which the man apologizes and starts to tell her more about himself.
You know what time it is. I'm sorry, but damn, like, I don't be seeing you. Plus, I be going back and forth to school. Cause like, I play basketball. I'm trying to make the NBA. I'm in the G League. And I do tattoos too. So like, I'm trying to really fuck with you. Like you fun as fuck. Like when I first seen you over here, I like, damn, she fun.
He tries to convince her to be friends with him, saying he is not like other men and has something going on for him, but she doesn't engage in the conversation. He then offers to give her his number and asks her to come outside and get it. After she refuses to come out, he tells her he'll write down his phone number and put it under her mat, then walks away.
I'm gonna just write on the sheet of paper and put it up under your mat. Alright, 60.
In this video, a lady was driving home and noticed she was being followed. She calls her sister, who tells her to come to her place. Upon arriving, she rushes inside, and minutes later, the stalker shows up. He looks around her car and then walks up to her sister's door. He knocks but gets no answer. They call the cops and report the incident.
He shut up the door.
Later, there's a knock. Thinking it's the cops, her sister opens the door to find the stalker. He says he wants to talk to the girl and just wants a date. Her sister denies letting anyone in, but eventually agrees when he won't stop. The victim peeks, and the stalker sees her and tries to grab her. He attempts to enter the house, but the door is quickly closed.
You gotta just go. Look, we don't want any trouble.
I don't want no problems either. I just want to talk to her.
You need to leave because the cops are about to actually be here.
I don't know why you call the cops though.
Because you're
No, wait,
baiting
that's
them
her
up.
right there. Wait, that's her.
Yo,
I know
whoa,
that's
whoa,
her.
whoa, whoa.
This female vlogger was recording and touring Akihabara in Tokyo, Japan, when the unexpected happened. She was around, showing her audience different sights in the town.
Hey guys, hey kittens, it's Catty Cat, and right now I am in Akihabara, and I'm just gonna walk around a little bit because I'm just on my way back from the shooting. So guys, let's walk with me and check out Akihabara. Let's go.
At this point, she notices that there is a man behind her who was watching her when she started filming and seems to be following her around.
Okay, this is getting a bit weird. There was a guy who watched me when I started filming, and he's looked at me, and he still keeps walking where I'm walking.
But she is not spooked and casually continues her vlog.
It's cold. It's cold. Ah, I forgot my cute bow. There it is. Ta-da!
She did a separate video to let her audience know she was okay and that the stalker didn't follow her for too long. She also said it was not the first time she was followed by someone, and she knew how to get away.
Around town until I got very scared. I mean, I'm okay this time. You kind of know after a while if someone's following you. You kind of especially if you have.
The young lady was actually just going to make a vlog of Akihabara, but then it turned into a different story. While vlogging, a person kept following her, which made her feel so uncomfortable.
Have you guys seen the ones that have heated seats?
Wait, I actually might want that kind. The heated seat ones, because I hate having...
Did you see that guy that was wearing a blue fit?
This footage from a police car shows a stalker who was apprehended while trying to break into the victim's home. He is heard saying he just wanted to talk to her and that she was his best friend.
I really just wanted my best friend to talk to me. And now I'm sitting here with you, with cuffs on, and the back of a cruiser. My truck's been towed. Dude.
The woman had called the authorities when she saw the man banging on her window and trying to gain access into her home by forcing the door open. She tells the officers that he was a friend of hers who she hadn't spoken to for a long time.
And then he just lost a friend 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in 2 years.
Just kind of infatuated with her and...
Yeah.
You haven't seen him in 2 years?
But he keeps popping up.
She says she was scared, especially because she knew the man to be an ex-Marine. She said she got so scared that she sent her daughter to the inner room and asked her to lock herself there. Because of his constant harassment, she had to change her phone 3 times.
Were you scared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an ex-Marine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened if you would have gotten in it?
I don't know. I feel honestly, he's become so obsessive and wants to talk to the point where I
This door cam shows the stalker on July 3rd, 2022, dropping off a present for her and blowing her a kiss. When in police custody, he is questioned by officers and starts to explain that he had asked her many times, but she had said she didn't want to be friends anymore. He also said she had blocked his phone number, email, and all social media accounts, so he had no choice but to come to her house and try to talk to her there.
You need to record this?
Huh?
No.
I have to record all personal things.
Okay. She said, I don't want to be friends anymore. You've pushed it too far, which I didn't think I'd asked that many times, but okay. I think she blocked my number, so I tried emailing her. And she blocked me on that, and then she blocked me on all social media, so,
He claims he just wanted to see if he could talk to her and would have left her alone and gone about his day if she didn't want to talk to him.
I was just trying to talk to her, and if not, I was going to go about my day, go about my life. That's it. That's all I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to create a problem, man. I was actually trying to solve one. Please.
A young woman was working out in the gym, and suddenly she got some unwanted attention from a man whom she claimed to have been talking to her for a while. Immediately, he tries to approach her and make contact, but she rebukes him harshly. She warned him not to come close, drawing the attention of others in the gym. Embarrassed, he quickly turns back, retreating from his intended mission.
From a very persistent guy. When he comes too close, she's had enough.
In this video, a man starts filming when he notices someone staring at him through his window. The stalker was standing completely still, leaving the man afraid and with no clue what the stranger's intentions were. The man calls 911 to report the stalker, who has been standing for 30 minutes. This has to be the most creepy video on the internet. This video recorded by the victim shows a vehicle that consistently visits the victim's house over some time. On the first day, the stalker approached the victim's wife, asking her if she needed a lift. She declined, saying that she was right in front of her home. He kept coming back day after day, sometimes twice a day, to observe the victim's apartment. Not only did he monitor the victim's wife at home, but it was said that he also showed up while she was shopping, pleading that she follow him home when he needed help. She again declined, making it clear that she married and loved her husband, thinking he'd get the clue and stay away from her. He didn't. He showed up days later with a note saying he needed assistance, bearing the signature of his sister. He placed this note in nylon, hanging it on their mailbox. The victim's wife traveled and he stopped showing up often. One day, while he was at home, he noticed that the stalker was staring at him. As soon as he figured out he was caught, he fled. These two boys were shopping at a store when one of them noticed a strange man who kept following them around the store. The boy decides to make a turn to see if the man would still follow, and he did. He turned another corner, and the man followed him there too, trying not to make it too obvious to the boys that he was following them.
Watch if I turn, watch.
The boy in the video mentions that he asked the man 3 times why he was following them, but he didn't answer and just continued doing it. Given that the boys were black and the man was white, he must have stereotyped the boys as criminals and was probably just trying to make sure they didn't steal anything from the store. But who knows? This scary video shows a man in a black hoodie standing outside the victim's apartment. This creepy act took place late at night, which even makes it scarier. The victim panicked after he noticed. He ran so fast, breathing heavily. Through the staircase, one would think he ran into his house affrighted so he could feel safe.
What?
However, this wasn't the case. He had pursued the stalker by exiting his apartment. According to the victim, he informed the police about what had transpired, and they had his flat watched in return. Next is the unusual occurrence of a man being stalked by a lady. This man starts recording when he suspects that he is being followed by a woman. Although the man seems nervous, he tries to brush it off as nothing special and even makes jokes about it.
I'm pretty sure I'm being followed. I've been taking a rather circuitous route. See that woman back there? I've been taking a rather circuitous route around.
It's a rainy day, and a man with his black umbrella has noticed a lady stalking him for a while. The video shows how she kept making similar moves as his, in his direction. Ever since he noticed, he began to take circuitous routes. He felt troubled by this lady in Japan and suggested he'd be giving her his holy umbrella.
Give her something to look at. I'll show you my holy umbrella. There we go. I'll look at back of the. Oh, see my holy umbrella? There we go. Ah, camel's wet. Bye-bye.
This man believes she has a stalker who has been standing outside his apartment every night for 4 days, looking through her window. So she decides to record it as evidence to show her family. The man decides to go outside to confront the stranger, but on reaching there, the stranger had mysteriously disappeared and was nowhere to be found. In this terrifying video, a young man was being followed by a racist in the shopping mall. While shopping with his friend, he noticed how a man in white and black kept going in his direction, pretending to shop for certain items. He confronted him and tried asking why he had kept stalking him. However, the suspicious man responded that it was a public space and he could go wherever he wanted. It's a terrifying experience for the victim, as his stalker wouldn't even care to go away. This husband records his wife's stalker, who initially approaches her in his car, asking her if she needs a ride. The next day, the man parks his car just outside their home for some time without getting out, and then just drives off. Over the course of the next few days, the man drives by, watching their home. The man stops the woman once again, saying that he needs help around the house and requesting her assistance, and she obviously declines. But the man continues stalking them, even eventually leaving a note for them with his phone number, saying that he needed help around his house. This scary video shows a man in a black hoodie standing outside the victim's apartment for over 30 minutes. This creepy act took place late at night, which even makes it scarier. The victim panicked and took a bold step to call 911, reporting the entire situation as he continued to notice his stalker through the window of his house. The police requested certain information, like his address and observations.
Hi, yeah, there's this guy just like standing outside my window.
This streamer was live and walking the streets of Japan when a creepy man with a katana sword started following her. She waits for him to get ahead of her and then turns to walk in the other direction, but he turns around and keeps following her.
Okay, can we do this right now?
Even if she was playing it off by laughing, it was clear that she was scared for her life and uncomfortable. She gets so scared that she eventually has to run from the man.
He's still following us. We're gonna go Koba.
But the man just keeps following her and she starts running faster and crying for help. Luckily, a man noticed what was going on and decided to help the girl get to a police station. They got to the station, where the police apprehended the creepy man with the sword, but judging from her face, she was still very terrified. Thank goodness for that man who helped save them. This man recorded his stalker at the train station, whom he said he was fed up with. The man is seen leaving the train, and the stalker is following right behind him, not even trying to avoid being noticed. He then confronts the man, who is named Gerard, and asks him to get back on the train.
I'll just stay on the train track.
But Gerard insists that he wanted to get on the other train car, so the man lets him get on it and starts to leave, but Gerard starts to follow him again. The man asks his stalker to sit down and stop following him, but he just remains standing, waiting for him to make the move. The train attendant had to step in and try to make them sit in different sections, but it didn't work as the stalker was still following him.